Welcome to another episode of The Scrumptious Woman. I have with me Wardell Harding, an incredible person that I met in this beautiful Facebook. I just loved his story. He was so honest with us. Let's be honest, that Facebook group was mostly women. It's all about creating your AI avatar, and if you don't feel like doing normal photos, to actually get a look-alike. And you were in that group and you shared with us such beautiful things that I think every single woman in that group reached out to you and said, "Oh my God." So welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's been an absolute delight. I just remember that you wrote this post and you let us in a little bit about your journey. I reached out to you and I said, "Can you come and talk to my podcast? Because I get people on here that have a story to tell, and I think you have so much wisdom in you. You've had such a life experience." Wardell, tell us a little bit what happened to you and where are you now?
I was, primarily raised by a single mother. We got to my late teens. My twin sister and I kind of started wandering off to kind of find where I fit in at. And it was the people that I wanted to fit in with, that I wanted to be around, kind of wasn't open to me being around. Kind of navigated to a group that accepted me for who I was, and they wasn't exactly doing the right thing, and I found myself like, you know, 18, 19 years old, starting to experiment with alcohol and then other drugs. And then by the time I was 20, I had a full-blown alcohol and drug addiction.
Oh
Um,
gosh, at the age of
yeah.
20.
Yeah, from like 20.
I mean, we see that in Europe here quite a lot, that it's actually quite young that it happens.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't know you were a twin. I've got twin daughters.
Yeah, I have a twin sister. Has a set of twins too. She has a boy and a girl.
Oh, I love it. It's a boy and a girl. Oh, at the age of 20 or so onwards, you had some problems with alcohol, with drugs, abuse, whatever substance abuse. What had you pop out of it? Because looking at you now and hearing your story, that's a long time ago, right?
It's a long time. I'm actually 50 now, but it took me a while to get there though. It didn't
Of
happen
course.
overnight. Through different stints with jails and rehabs. And then finally I ended up in prison, and I went to prison for 3 years and 9 months.
Wow.
And that's when I finally was able to take a look at things and say I really needed to change my life. And to be honest with you, you would think with the amount of things, stuff that I had been through, that it would have happened, from that, but it didn't,
You weren't quite done yet, right? Sometimes we think we have to hit rock bottom, and yet we have
yeah.
to hit a little bit further just to make sure that we're really actually there.
And that's exactly what happened. I almost ended up going back, but thank God there were some people that knew me very well from my time that I spent in rehabs before, that kind of welcomed me back and put me on a different track, and that's really what made the biggest difference. I had to get away from my familiar places and my comfort zones. That's when I was 37 years old when that took place.
And you're now around 50, you said, so the last 13 years have been very much an upward trajectory.
That time has led to me doing some very wonderful things in the area of recovery. I actually went and worked in the recovery field for a little while. I've been able to speak on various stages all the way from Baltimore, Maryland to Ocean City, Maryland. There's a local church here that's open to the recovery community, and they have a night called Night of Hope. Offered a chance. I was offered the stage for that. I've spoken at countless meetings, and I still have one sponsee today. And actually, he's older than me, so he's coming up on 6 years. It's been an absolute pleasure to be a part of that community and be able to get back with a little way.
It's beautiful, and I hear this so often for people who have hit that part of themselves where they're like, okay, this is it. We're not doing this anymore. You really choose, right? That's where you have
Right.
that choice. It's like I can continue down this path and I know where
Right.
that's going to lead, or I can try this. And it sounds like you've had some beautiful people there and you've also given back now. Now, if any of our listeners are recognizing themselves in that, or recognizing someone who is on the path of destruction, or the path of going down instead of going up, and hell-bent on not really seeing their essence. What are the three things that you would tell them right now? What are the things you tell your groups?
First thing I would tell them is I love you. The second thing I would tell them is you're worth it. And the third thing I would tell them is, find somebody that you might not necessarily would talk to in any other setting, and that's the person that I want you to go hook up with. That's working a program of recovery or has worked a program of recovery. That's the three things that I would tell them right away. After, of course, the obvious is stop using whatever substance it is, but those would be the three things that I would tell them right away. The help is there. All you got to do is just reach out your hand. Somebody's going to take it.
Someone's going to take it, and someone's going to say, hey, I've been there. Come on, brother, or come on, sister, or come on, whoever it is, whatever your gender is. I'm like, hey, I've been there. It's like what the little thing that I talk about coaching. It's like there's this big pothole and the priest walks past and says, what have you done to get there? Let's pray together and get you out. And the psychologist says, oh, tell me your past and dissertate all your past and what's happened, etc., etc. And the rabbi says whatever, and the sheikh says whatever, and all these different things. And then the coach goes and jumps in with the person that's in the pothole. And it's like, what the heck? How are we going to get out of that? It's like, well, I'll show you how, because I've been there. And that's really what it feels like you're telling people. First of all, get yourself out of that situation. Distance yourself from where you're going to be tempted, possibly, or where you're going to be in that same circumstance, and then hook up with someone that has been there and that is willing to reach out.
You got to give yourself permission to be uncomfortable,
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, because you're gonna have to work for this, and you're gonna be uncomfortable. It's not gonna come easy. You have to work for it. You have to find yourself along the process, and it's a beautiful thing once you do.
It's beautiful. Tell me your relationship with your twin sister. How has this whole journey impacted that?
Actually, I just spoke to her earlier. My sister and I, we're tight. It didn't always be that way because she saw more in her brother back then than I think I saw in myself. When I thought I wasn't hurting anybody, I really was. Our relationship's wonderful today. We just talked earlier today. We talk a couple times a week. She doesn't live that far from me. We talk all the time.
I just picked one of my twins up, and it was funny because I was asking her the other day as a mom, like, what's it like to be a twin? She's like, Mommy, I don't know any better. What do you mean? What is it like to be a twin? I'm like, it's a stupid question, but it was just funny. She's like, because her twin sister is now living in Lebanon. And they're really missing each other. Although this one, Noor, had lived in Madrid for a year when Zena, her sister, was here in the UK. But they see each other more often. And now they haven't seen each other since September. And they're not seeing each other until December. So they're like, wow, this is the longest time we've ever been apart.
It's wild. We've been apart, like I said, during my periods of incarceration. And then when I moved over onto the Western Shore, I was away for like a year. Moved back home with my mom when I found out my mom was sick and was needing some help. So I moved back home with Mom, and I've been back ever since, and I just had to reestablish myself in my network over here on the shore, and it's been wonderful. It's been beautiful.
I love it. We met in this beautiful photos party of Bonnie Fahy, who is this incredible course creator who created this super cool AI twin and all kinds of other things for like, what is it, $24, which is what the price of like a nice lunch out. For here in England, it would be like, like a nice sandwich plus a beautiful smoothie. We've just gotten so much value out of it, right?
It was wild because I didn't know that going in. After I got in there, and I realized that one woman that I've been the tightest with throughout my whole life has been my mother. So now I've got 900 more mothers. You know what I'm saying? I was comfortable, and to be honest with you, that's what made it so easy for me to open up and let you guys, let you all know exactly where I was in my life today and what I had been through and what it was that I was trying to do, because I felt completely comfortable there. I felt welcome there, even from the time before I even shared that. When I shared some of my other photos in there, it was nothing but love and support, and from the beginning. So I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and let everybody know exactly who I am and where I'm at in life today. And I'm completely harmless. Even though I'm a man, I'm harmless. I'm not. I'm just here because I stumbled here, like you said, through purchasing a $24 course. I had no idea that it was going to be primarily women in there. That wouldn't have made a difference to me.
We joined this course, and then all of a sudden she said, okay, we're going to have a party. I'm going to create a Facebook group. And in that Facebook group, we got just so much value of all these other trainings and like more stuff. And then it's like, oh, let's share your photos. And then you came up with some like incredible stuff. And we're like, whoa, who is this person? And then you started sharing. You actually just told us what had happened.
Yeah.
What were some of the reactions that surprised you most?
What really surprised me the most was the amount of people that were willing to open up after that about being in recovery. Even privately, I had someone message me and was like, hey, thank you, because if you hadn't have shared that, I wouldn't have been open to sharing it either. But I don't know about anywhere else in the world, but I know here in the States, especially in where I'm from, we got this saying, we recover out loud. We let people know, hey, this is where I'm at. I'm not hiding the fact that I'm in recovery. I want to shout it from the rooftops. You know what I mean? So, that's exactly why I did it. I'm not ashamed of the fact that I'm in recovery now. I'll let anybody know this is who I am. Either you deal with it or you don't. But this
That
is me.
vulnerability gives people permission. And that's oftentimes I see, like, I'm often very vulnerable and I'll tell people what's happening. My brand's called Feel Fully. It's all about feelings and emotions and actually being able to do that and not to dampen down on them and not to build these walls that we've all been taught to do and to act in a certain way and to be a certain way and to not speak to people and yes and this and that. And it's like, no, fuck that. Feel it.
Right.
Actually feel it, be honest about it. I've had this massive journey with grief where I've had all my family basically die on me the last 7 years or so. So it's been a lot and I've been very vocal about it. I'm a death doula. I've helped some other people pass over, some clients. I tell people, I kind of warn them. I'm like, listen, I'm grieving. It's a process, Yes, it's been 7 years for some things and some things have been quite much more recent, but I'm absolutely fine. But I just warn you, I kind of like wear my emotions on my sleeve. I wear my heart on my sleeve. One day I'll be like laughing, crying, and the next moment there might be snot flying and tears, and then I'll be in hysterics and laughing again. I'm completely cool. I'm okay. You don't have to caretake me. But these are things that could happen with me. And if you haven't heard my laugh, that's another one to watch out for. And they're like, oh, okay. But it then gives them permission saying, oh, that was actually really cool. These are the little quirks I have.
We have to have those. I can be the same way. Fortunately, I've been able to learn how to channel my emotions in, sort of a different way. I respond to things a lot differently than what I normally would.
I can imagine. Give us one example. What did you used to do? What do you do now?
It was party time. Something got me upset. Speaking of grief, if somebody passed away, it's party time. If I got upset at work or something, I just quit. F you. I'll show you. I'll make myself unemployable. The insanity of thinking that way. But today, I don't feel the need to act that way. I just had a very close friend of mine. I hadn't seen him in about 20 years. He was murdered a few weeks ago. I had to channel that a different way. It's one of those things that I find myself being able to use like different things today, to deal with certain things. You
must have gotten so many tools in that many years of recovery and helping others.
Journaling. My family knows this. Like my earbuds, right? I put some music on and I can just sit back and before I know it's been 2-3 hours. I try to leave the outside world outside of my home.
Mm-hmm. Good for you.
And then when I come in, I don't want to put that type of pressure on my family.
Mm-hmm.
So I have my music. And now I have AI.
Yes, tell us about your AI journey. What are you going to do with that?
To be honest with you, I had someone message me again last night after I shared that video that I made, that little trailer that I made last night. I think it's my best one yet. But I had somebody message me last night, and he was like, "Hey, how can I learn what you do?" do you have a course or do you teach a class or something like that? That's one of the things I'm looking into. I'm also looking into maybe doing some agency type work, like monetizing some of the stuff that I do for other creators and coaches and things like that that need advertising or maybe a video commercial or something like that. So that's one of the things that's on my radar. And then of course I make AI music. I have 2 albums actually that are out. One's a holiday album and another one is an album called titled Unsaid.
Unsaid?
And that, yes,
Where can
that
our,
just
our
comes.
listeners find that?
It's on YouTube. It's titled Unsaid. It's under my name, Wardell Harding, and it's got some really good music on there.
So, best thing for our listeners is to go to YouTube, type in
Hmm.
Wardell Harding,
Yeah.
Unsaid,
Yes.
or just type in your name and you will see the incredible stuff you've been doing.
Yep. And you'll also see a video that I did. Um, there's an interview of me when I worked in recovery. It's still on YouTube. The Chestertown Spy. They came out and interviewed me when I was when I was working at the local rehabs. It's still on there too.
Beautiful. So if anyone needs a little bit of extra help, go look up Wardell on YouTube, and from there you can just reach out to him. He is an incredible soul. It's been so beautiful having you on. And I can't wait to see what you do with this. I see you leading men's groups and perhaps even you're doing videos for like men's coaches and actually also like for the whole sobriety and for the whole recovery groups. If you can do some cool videos for that, that would be super fun, right?
I would love to. I would have to find a group that's open. The whole anonymity thing, and it's kind of.
Yeah.
But if I could find some groups that would be open to me creating a video for them, I don't have any problem doing that. I help anyone. Going into 2026, I'll probably be offering a course or something, teaching some cool AI stuff. I have my consultant certification that I got a couple weeks back. I'm gonna be doing some cool stuff coming. I'm working on, and I'm gonna continue to make music too. I go through my journals and I find something that kind of touches me at the time, and that's what I write off. That album Unsaid, all of those songs come from entries from my journal.
I love it. So, a personal story in words and in music. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on.
I'm humbled that you even asked. So, thank you. I really appreciate you.
I think you've given so many beautiful nuggets of advice and you've touched people by your honesty and by your words that it's my honor to make sure that you get in front of some other people.